Next on Comcast Newsmakers, is there enough time and energy being spent in Olympia on promoting job creation? One lawmaker in the House weighs in. Hi, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Sabrina Register. Today we are in Olympia, the beautiful state reception room at the Capitol. Joining me right now, Representative jt-wilcox, who represents the 2nd District. Tell us where the 2nd District is again.
The 2nd District is the rural small towns of Pierce County, eastern Pierce County, Mount Rainier, and a little bit of Thurston County. Yelm is my metropolis.
Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So I posed that question at the beginning about job creation, promoting job creation. Would you say enough time and energy is being spent here in Olympia?
No, I don't think so. You know, we put a lot of time in a few months ago trying to do our best to keep Boeing here. And that was, and really the whole aerospace industry. And that was well worth doing. I was a yes on those things. But, you know, a lot of us in the House Republican caucus represent very, very poor rural districts. I've got a couple of towns in my district, the little town of Roy, the Nisqually Indian community. The average family income there is $14,000. And those people don't, for the most part, have access to the really hot Puget Sound, Seattle area market. So we need to care about the people that don't live right there and would be happy to have some of the jobs that actually in this building people look down their nose at.
So what would you do, you know, in terms of promoting job creation if it were solely up to you? What sort of ideas do you put forth?
Well, you know, we've got a couple of barriers to employment. When I grew up, and I grew up in my district, probably 50% of the kids that I went to high school with at Yelm High School came from families that could make a living on their own property. You know, sometimes I was farming, but it was also things like paint shops, some kind of small-scale construction. And over time, we've created a set of regulations that make it almost impossible to earn a living in rural areas because the things that we used to do there either are not economic anymore or they're simply prohibited by land use regulations. And a great example, on a slightly different topic, I had a tiny little bill this year that would have let the Bethel School District build a school out where people were already living, but it was outside the urban growth boundary. And even that little bill that would just take land that they already owned and create a shorter commute for school kids was unable to pass because people have become so rigid about land use.
So you feel that easing restrictions and regulations might help promote job creation?
Well, absolutely. And you know, there has been a tiny bit of progress. Norma Smith had a bill that was actually based on some recommendations by the state auditor that streamlined regulations. But we also need to be a little more flexible when it comes to the rural counties that are not growing at all. There's another bill out there that would allow an exemption from GMA, the Growth Management Act, for distressed counties. That would make sense. They don't have a problem with growth. Their problem is that they have none. And so I guess what I would like to do is recognize that the solution that works for the most urban parts of the state, like Seattle, like King County, is not exactly the same solution that works best in the more rural parts of the county where people are just asking for an opportunity to work.
And as you mentioned that bill, does that bill have support, the bill with the Growth Management Act?
You know what, that has been around for 3 or 4 years now. It's
the bill has?
It has, yeah. And it is sponsored by Representative Kretz. It's been stuck in rules for years and has never had enough support from the other party to get it to a vote.
Well, your voice has been heard.
Well, thank you.
Promoting job creation more. You'd like to see more of it, not just for the big urban areas, but for rural counties as well.
Absolutely right.
jt-wilcox, Representative, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. Headline news coming up at the top and bottom of the hour.